Hooking a diamond butterfly pendant around your neck, you looked at your reflection in the mirror. You wore a lilac ankle length gown that fitted you well, manifesting your 7 months baby bump. Are you planning to kill me with your beauty? Your husband was leaning against the door, looking more handsome than ever in an off white tuxedo. Stop lying. I'm not beautiful like before I'm fat. You glanced at him and pouted, gazing at your reflection in the mirror. Oh, shut up. Dare to call my wife fat again. He scrunched his nose as he stepped towards you, stopping just behind you. See, you are a hot mama, he said as he slided his hands on your baby bump, hugging you from behind. You both stared at each other through the mirror. See how much you are glowing. I am seeing the most beautiful and strongest woman who is going through variants both physically and mentally for bringing our little love to this world. His word brought out a genuine smile on your lips. I can't thank you enough for what you are doing to bring our baby to life. He planted a kiss on your exposed shoulder and rested his chin on it. Then I should thank you too, because you are the one who is sparing my crazy mood swings and weird cravings, you said as you placed your hands above his, which was securely wrapped around your stomach. Alright, enough with thanks and all. Let's go or we will be late for the engagement party. Though I will gladly ditch the party to spend the entire time with my wife. He winked at you. No, dear husband, we gotta leave. Your aunt specially invited us for your cousin's engagement and we don't wanna hurt someone's feeling, do we? You removed his hand and turned around facing him. As you say, your highness, he bowed his head dramatically. Good. Now be a good husband and bring my shoes from the closet. Okay, which one? Which matches with my dress? He nodded and went inside the walk-in closet. Here. He placed a pair of flats of same color as your dress near your feet. No, I want to wear heels, you whined with a pout. No heels, Cara, your feet will hurt afterwards, he denied politely. But you tried to protest, but one glare for him was enough for you to shut your mouth. He made you wear sandals. He stood up and smiled at you, but you huffed and looked away from him, showing him your anger. You look cute when you puffed these bread cheeks. It incites me to bite them. He gently bit your cheeks. Your anger flew away like wind, and you blushed at his actions. I can't even stay mad at you. You whined and hit on his shoulder. And you are not allowed to be mad at me. You are only allowed to love me just like I love you. He bobbed your nose with his, your sweet giggles filling around the room. Shall we leave, Cara Maya? You nodded. He helped you downstairs. You both reached at the venue where his cousin's engagement party was held. Your mother-in-law was the first one to notice you both. She ran in your direction and engulfed you in a hug. How are you, my baby? She asked you, showering you with love, completely ignoring Jimin. I'm fine, Amma. You smiled at her as she kissed your forehead lovingly. Amma, I'm here too. You are only hugging her. You whined, feeling ignored. Oh, now you remember you have a mother too. I thought you forgot me since you got a wife. She sarcastically replied. Amma, what are you saying? How can I forget you? You are my pretty and beautiful and smart and more beautiful, Amma. Oh, really? Then tell me, when was the last time you came to meet me? She squinted her eyes at him, who pouted and looked down. Love my daughter, who calls me daily and takes me on dates and loves me like a mother. That is why all of my love is solely for her, she said as she gently pinched her cheek, smiling at you warmly. Amma, I'm sorry. I promise I'll visit you regularly from now on. He forcefully hugged his mother. Yeah, yeah, we'll see that, she said as she kissed his forehead, earning a smile from him. Wine, your eyes moved to your father-in-law, who walked towards you with a smile. How have you been, my daughter? He asked as he gently pulled you in a hug. I'm fine, Appa. You smiled at him as you pulled back from the hug. My daughter is looking really beautiful. He patted your head with affection. Your mother-in-law nodded her head, agreeing with him. Appa, I'm here too. He whined as he got ignored for the second time today. Oh, you're here too. Hello, young man. Jimin smiled and opened his arms for a hug, but his parents walked away, taking you along with them. He scoffed. They're ignoring me because of their daughter-in-law. They will kick me out once our baby will born. I'm the third person now and then I'll be no person. He murmured to himself and walked behind him. He came and sat on the table where you were sitting. He glared at his parents as they showered you with their love and care without acknowledging about him, who murmured incoherent words to himself. You giggled at his reaction, earning a glare in return. Shortly after, his cousins came and dragged him along with them. You were left alone on the table as his parents were called out by his aunt. You savored the delicious cupcakes sitting there until the seat beside you was occupied by your husband. Are you okay? Are you comfortable? Should I bring something else for you? He flirted you with questions. You cut him off by putting a cupcake in his mouth. I am okay, I'm comfortable, and no, don't bring anything else for me. You replied as you munch on another cupcake, nodding your head as your taste buds blessed with different flavors. The ceremony is going to start soon. We'll leave after that. He spoke with his mouth full of cupcake. No, I want to stay more, and if you try to command me this time, I'll complain to Amma. Hi, Jimin. You rolled your eyes when a familiar shrill voice fell on your ears. Hello, Gina. He replied politely, getting up from his seat. You frowned your eyebrows when she suddenly hugged him. Jimin smiled awkwardly, looking uncomfortable. You got up as she wasn't ready to leave him. You pushed her hands off him, pulling him towards you. Hi, Gina. You gave her a tight lipped smile, wrapping your hands around your husband's biceps. Oh, hi. I didn't know you will be here too. Of course, I'll be here. It's my husband's cousin's engagement. But what are you doing here? You stressed on my husband. His cousin invited me as I am his business partner. She forced out a smile, glaring at you. By the way, Wine, you have gained a lot of weight. Do you spend all day eating food? You look like a balloon. She laughed like she just made a humorous joke. You clenched your jaw, ready to retort back at her, but Jimmy spoke first. She is pregnant, Gina, and watch your words before saying something to my wife. I won't tolerate you talking to her like this ever again. He stated sternly. You smirked at her. She laughed nervously. I was just joking, Jimin. Anyways, congratulations. She said, eyeing your baby bomb with disgust. Your hand automatically moved to your stomach protectively. It must be frustrating to handle your business and a pregnant woman, she asked Jimin with a eating grin on her face. It's a heavenly experience to care about your pregnant woman. It's not frustrating, it's a rare phase of life, and I'm lucky to experience this with Ryan. I'm grateful that she is my wife. Jimin, come here. He excused himself and went towards his father, leaving you with Gina. It wasn't enough for you to get married to him that you even got pregnant by him. Oh, wait, is this his child? She spat those words, pointing at you, baby bump. Stay in your limits. You are his friend and behave like one unless you want me to make him break his friendship with you. Like he will do it. Do you know you don't deserve him? Oh girl, I totally deserve him, and that is why I am carrying his child. And didn't you see how much he loves me? You smirked at her while she flayed her nostrils in anger. If you hadn't come between us, we would have been happy together. First of all, there was no odds between you and him, and secondly, if he didn't fall for me, he wouldn't fall for you ever. He always saw you as a good friend, nothing more. You heard me, just a friend. You graded out, trying to sink some realization in her small brain. I don't care. He is mine, he was mine, and I'll make him mine no matter what I have to do for this. Seriously need medical help. If you want, I can talk to my friend. She is a psychiatrist. And don't worry about money, I'll pay. Oh dear God, keep every evil eye away from my husband. You gave your sweetest smile. She ground her teeth and stopped away from there. You chuckled and shook your head. What was she saying? You flinched when your mother-in-law spoke beside you, narrowing her eyes at Gina. Nothing special, Amma. Why stay away from her? I don't get good vibes from her. I don't know why my dumb son even befriended her. I don't like her from the start. She stroked your hair, her eyes shining with concern. Oh my Amma, you know I love you so much, and don't worry, your daughter isn't weak, and you are with me, right? You kissed her cheek and she chuckled, nodded her. The engagement ceremony was over, and almost all the guests had left by now. Only a few close relatives and family members were left. Well, let's go home. Almost everyone left. You have enjoyed a lot. It's time to go home and rest. You must be tired, he said, making you sigh. Okay, fine, let's go home. But before that, bring me a glass of water. My throat is dry. He nodded and rose from his seat to bring water. You looked around and your eyes fell on your mother-in-law who was talking to Jimin's aunt. You smiled and stood up, walking towards them. You didn't notice Gina, who was coming behind her with evil motives. She came near you and pushed you from behind. Your eyes widened as a sudden jerk. You stumbled, losing your balance, and fell on the ground on your stomach. A loud, painful shriek escaped your lips. Oh my God, Ryan!
she gasped, acting shocked like she just didn't push you.
When Jimin, who went to bring water, came running towards you, hearing your scream. Your in-laws followed after. He put your head on his lap while you were crying due to pain. Your cries got louder when you felt liquid leaking from you. Horror fell inside him as if saw blood staining your clothes. Jimin, baby, you managed to voice out. Nothing will happen to our baby. He spoke as he lifted you in bridal style and ran outside towards his car. His parents followed him. Jimin, it hurts. You cried out as he got in the back seat while his parents sat in the front. We are going to the hospital. You will be fine, Kara. Stay strong, my child. We are almost there. Drive fast, she said to her husband, who pressed the accelerator, speeding the car even more. After 10 minutes, the car halted in front of the hospital. Jimin hastily got off the car, carrying you inside the hospital. Stay awake, Kara, he said as he saw you closing your eyes. Help, it's an emergency, he shouted like a crazy person. Some nurses and ward boys rushed towards you both. He lay you down on the stretcher. Soon a doctor came towards him. Doctor, my wife, she's pregnant. She fell down. Please do something. Soon you were taken to the operation theater. Jimin and his parents stayed outside. He looked at his clothes, which were now stained with your blood. He wiped the sweat that formed on his forehead with his shivering hands. His mother was crying while his father was consoling her. He slumped down on the bench. He looked down, tapping his feet, feeling overwhelmed with the fear of losing his wife or child. After 5 hours long operation, the doctor finally came out. Jimin rushed towards them. My wife, he gulped, praying the Almighty for her safety. Her condition is not good. She has lost a lot of blood. She will be in the ICU until her condition gets stable. His heartbeat stopped. Hearing him, gathering his remaining strength, he asked him, and my baby? Her organs are underdeveloped as she is a premature baby. She has shifted to an ICU for around the clock care. My girls will be fine, right? We will try our best. The doctor patted his shoulder and left. He stumbled back and fell down on his knees. His parents held him. Amma wine. He cried, hugging his mother. She kissed his head, crying along with him. His father embraced them both, being the strong backbone of his family. It had been 2 days since you were unconscious. Though doctors said that your condition was now stable, yet Jimin's heart was not at ease. He didn't left your side except one time when his mother forced him to change his bloody clothes. He was waiting for you to open your eyes. Hey, sleepyhead, open your eyes now. You have slept more than enough. Come on, get up and demand for something. I'll give you anything. It's a one-time opportunity. Don't blame me later if I don't listen to you. His red and swollen eyes welled up with tears when he got no response. That's not fair, Kara. I will torment you more when you will wake up. I swear I won't talk to you, he said as tears rolled down his eyes. Alright, I won't do that, but wake up. I also want to sleep, but you are taking the whole bed. Get up and let me sleep. He chuckled through his tears. He held her hand, bringing it closer to his lips. He placed a kiss on it. He kept his head on their intertwined hands and sobbed, unable to bear the pain in his heart. He was broken. On one side, his wife was unconscious, and on the other side, his daughter, who had not seen the world yet, was fighting between life and death. He stopped crying abruptly when he felt gentle cares on his head. He lifted his head to find you awake, looking at him with a small smile. Kara, are you okay? Wait, let me call the doctor. He rushed outside and came back with the doctor. He stood beside you until the doctor was checking you. She's fine now but still weak. She needs lots of care. Her diet should be proper and give her medicine on time. The doctor left. Jimin kissed your forehead. You smiled and your hand moved towards your belly, which was flat now. You panicked. Jimin, baby, where's our baby? Jimin was hesitated. He didn't want to lie, but he didn't know whether you would be able to handle the truth or not. Why not, baby? She's in an ICU. You know that she born earlier. That's why they kept her there under special care. He tried to handle the situation calmly. Is she fine? Our daughter is fine, right? Yes, she's fine. Jim, I want to see her. Please take me to her. No, we can't. They don't allow anyone inside that room. He stammered, making up a quick excuse. Oh shit. How can they not allow her parents to meet her? Let's go, Jimin. I want to meet my daughter. Let's see who will stop me. You said as you tried to get up, but Jimin pushed you back gently by your shoulder. Try to understand, Kara. It's for your safety purpose that they didn't allow anyone in. Please. Tears rolled down your eyes. You cried, pleading him to let you meet your daughter.
He bit the inside of his lips, controlling his own tears, which were threatening to fall. Stop crying, Kara Mia. He spoke as he gently embraced you and stroked your head. His parents entered inside shortly after. You cried as you saw your mother-in-law. She sat beside you. He shifted towards her and hugged her, crying in her motherly warmth. Amma, they are not letting me meet my daughter. Please, I want to see her. Jimin couldn't control himself and went out, followed by his father. He leaned against the wall and let his tear drop down from his eyes that he was holding. His father hugged him in his comforting embrace. After some time, he pulled back. His father patted his back. Don't you want to see your daughter? Wyan and I will go together. I won't go alone. Let's go inside. Wyan needs you. He nodded and went inside along with his father. He saw you crying, hugging his mother, who was rubbing your back, trying to provide you the needed comfort. Amma, Gina, she pushed me. You cried out, kindling the flame of anger in the other three persons. Relax, Wyan. I'll take care of that, Gina. You need rest, my baby. She somehow made you sleep despite your protest. Call a nurse, Jimin. Jimin was confused but nevertheless nodded and called a nurse inside. Please stay here with my daughter until we come back, she said to the nurse, who nodded in approval. Where are we going, Amma? He asked her. She settled in the back seat. His father got on the passenger seat beside his mother, who was buckled up on the driver's seat. To slap some senses inside your wicked friend's brain. She grated out as she started the engine and drove towards Gina's house.
Entering the car in front of her house, his mother hastily got down and strode towards the front door, followed by the other two. She rang the doorbell continuously. A few minutes later, Gina opened the door. As his mother's eyes fell on Gina, her blood boiled and she slapped her hard. How dare you! She didn't stop after one slap, she slapped her continuously. Gina stumbled back in the living room due to the impact of her. How dare you hurt my daughter? She yelled and again raised her hand to slap her, but this time she was held back by her husband. Leave me, let me show her how it feels to get pushed down. She wriggled in his hold. What did I do? She finally managed to voice out. Stop this drama. Aren't you the one who pushed my wife? Jimin gritted out, fisting his hands. I did. She is lying. She shuddered badly, fearing about the worst consequences. Do you think I believe you or my wife? I always considered you as my good friend, and this is what you did? Yes, I did. So what? I have always loved you since college, but you never noticed me. You fell for that. You are mine, and she was being a hurdle between us, so I pushed her. Hope she and her child died. She laughed like a psycho. Jimin clenched his jaw, resisting the urge to punch on her face. Thank God that I don't raise my hand on a woman, otherwise, I would have broken all your bones by now. You said you love me? No, it's not love. It's your dirty obsession towards me. If you have truly loved me, you would have been happy seeing me happy with Vaya. You can't break her bones, but I can. Tell your dad to leave me and I'll show her starts in daylight. You did wrong by hurting my kids. I won't leave you. She raised her hands to free herself. She was fuming in anger. Calm down. It's not a matter to take in her hands. I have already called the cops. They will deal with her. Just then, few cops passed inside the house and arrested Gina. Jimmy, I love you. Please tell them to leave me. She shouted like a crazy person. Jimmy's mother freed herself and stood in front of her. If anything happens to my daughter and granddaughter, I swear you will be 6 feet under the next second. She slapped her before she was dragged away by the cops. Jimin, please take me to her. You cried out, pleading to your husband, who let out a shaky breath. A week passed since you had gained consciousness. Neither your cries nor your pleading stopped from that moment. You kept bugging him to take you to your daughter, which only added more sadness to his already gloomy heart. You want to see her? Okay, I'll talk to the doctor and take you there, but promise me you won't cry anymore. You quickly wiped your tears and nodded, which brought out a small smile on his lips. Okay, rest here, I'll go and ask the doctor. You nodded multiple times and closed your eyes to sleep. He left after kissing your forehead. We will see her once and come back. We can't take her with us, okay? He uttered as he helped you in wearing a cap and mask while he was already wearing a hospital gown along with a cap and mask. You nodded with a wide smile, beaming with excitement. I can't wait to see her. Let's go. He chuckled at your excitement and carried you in bridal style. You both washed your hands with antibacterial soap in the wash basin outside NICU. You both wore the gloves that the nurse provided you and led you in. You both got alarmed seeing so many equipment there. Sir, there is your daughter. Your eyes diverted in the direction where she pointed.
Jimin carried you where she pointed and put you down. You gasped when you saw your daughter. She was sleeping on the incubator with several wires attached to her tiny body. A tube was attached to her nose through ventilator to provide her oxygen and another tube to her mouth for food supply. She is so tiny and beautiful. You whispered to Jimin, who nodded, holding your weak body by your shoulder. Even my palms are bigger than her. Tears fell down your eyes as you stared at your daughter with affection. Hey baby, we are your parents, you whispered, leaning closer towards her. Jimin was so overwhelmed that he wasn't able to speak. He was just staring at his tiny baby girl with glossy eyes. Jimin, I want to hold her. He looked at the nurse for approval. Sorry, sir, but you can't hold her yet. You can still touch her, but not more than that. Your heart clenched as you couldn't even hold your own daughter. You gently kissed her small head. You chuckled when you saw Jimin touching her hand with his fingertip. You had his hand and brought it to her little palm. He sobbed when she held his finger in her palm. Sir, you have to leave now. He nodded, but you shook your head. No, I want to stay here with her. We will come again. Let's go now. He tried to make you understand, but you stubbornly shook your head. You promised, Kara. You sobbed and hugged Jimin, removing your hand from your daughter's head. He carried you in bridal style, taking you out of there. Started looking at the door. You were waiting for Jimin to take you to see your daughter, but he was missing from the morning, and you were getting impatient with each passing second. It has been 3 weeks since you were staying in the hospital. You were allowed to meet your daughter every other day, and today was that day, but Jimin was nowhere to be seen. Few minutes later, the door opened and a grinning Jimin came inside. Where were you? You know that we have to go to meet our baby, and you are roaming God knows where. He stepped towards you and sat beside you. His eyes were shining with glee. He kissed on your both cheeks while you were confused. You wanna know where I was his whole time? No, not interested. Just take me to my baby. I was completing the formalities for taking my wife and daughter home. Your eyes widened as his words sank in your mind. He rose from the bed and walked towards the door and opened it. A nurse walked inside, carrying your little one in her arms. You gasped and sat straight as she walked in your direction. You extended your hands and she placed her in your arms. Tears of happiness rolled down your eyes as you held your daughter closer to your chest. The nurse left, giving you both privacy. Jimin came and sat beside you. She took over you completely. See her cute nose and chubby cheeks. And she is so tiny. What do you mean? Am I tiny? He cutely glared at you. No, I'm just so happy today. Then why are you crying? You're gonna make her a crybaby like you. You glared at him as he wiped your tears with his thumb. Do you want to hold her? You asked when you saw him gazing at your sleeping daughter. Yes, no, I'll break her. You laughed at him. You won't. She's not a thing that will break. Here, hold her. You carefully placed her in his arms. He gazed at you with wide eyes. He stopped breathing and sat frozen on his place. Breathe, Jimin. You pressed your lips to not burst into laughter. Why? Take her, please. She will slip off my hands. He chuckled and took her back, making him breathe out in relief. This is so scary. For a second, I thought I'm going to drop her. He said as he placed his hands on his chest where his heart was beating. You were about to say something. That's when the door burst open and your in laws walked inside wearing shark onse and carrying balloons in their hands. They whistled in excitement, forgetting that the baby was sleeping until her cry echoed in the room. Amma Appa seriously? He narrowed his eyes at them, who pouted and looked down, mumbling sorry. You could, cradling her in your arms, trying to stop her from crying, but it only got louder. You looked at Jimin with teary eyes. Give her to me. Took her from you. You were shocked when she stopped crying. You are already her favorite. You whined with the pout, earning a smile from him. Of course, she's my little princess. He chirped as he kissed her forehead. I also want a daughter now. He pouted and looked at his wife, who glared at him. Behave your age, old man. It's time to play with your granddaughter, not your daughter. But she is his daughter and he won't let me play with her. He scratched his nose, looking at his son, who was holding his daughter closer to his chest. Jimmy, let us hold your granddaughter. No, you guys were ignoring me the other day. Now I don't need anyone. I have my partner. I am happy with her. My daughter, Park Navi. He smiled, looking at his daughter with affection. What did you say? His mother twisted his hair, making him groan. Amma, it's hurting. He groaned. His daughter again started crying. His mother instantly left his ear and her cries died down immediately. Jimmy smiled while the other three people were shocked. My daughter, my savior. My daughter, betrayer.